And welcome to our studio show. This week we're in France at Villars-sous-Écot. And my guests this week, Adam Wheeler, OnTrackOffroad.com, Valentin Guillod, Standing Construct Yamaha Yamalube, Tony Cairoli, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, and Steve Dixon, Team Manager for Monster Energy DRT Kawasaki. But before we start and go any further with this week's studio show, let's catch up with what happened a week ago at the MXGP of Great Britain in MX2 at Matterley Basin. We really do have a new kid in town. He sat alongside us, and we'll catch up with him in just a moment. Max Anstey was looking for a good start, like he got in race one. But as he charged down into turn one, it was apparent that that good start never happened. He was pushed wide through the first corner. And up the inside, it was the two factory Red Bull KTMs of Jonas and Hurlings that crossed the Foxhole shot line first. But then they ran each other wide, allowing Valentin Guillod, number 92, an easy route into first place. Tixier survived what could have been a horrible crash at the bottom of the first hill, but he did survive in fourth behind Jonas and Hurlings. Jonas in third position. Soon came under pressure though from number one, Jordi Tixier and Jeremy Seewer. But a slight mistake entering the wave section allowed the Frenchman, the defending champion, into third place. Valentin Guillod had his time at the front, but was under pressure from Jeffrey Hurlings, who thought he made this pass stick for the lead. But after his speed in race one, Guillod responded immediately and was back past the Dutchman. Hurlings tried again at the bottom of the hill, but couldn't quite get the power down on the factory KTM, and the Standing Construct Yamaha rider was able to hold a tight line through the next right-hander. And this was how the race took shape for almost all of the 17 laps. The fans were urging both riders on. Jeffrey Hurlings tried and tried, but in the end it was Valentin Guillod who took his second race win of the year. Jeffrey Hurlings was second, Tixier third, Jonas fourth, and Jeremy Seewer was fifth ahead of Max Anstey. But it was Guillod who won the Grand Prix, tying on points with Hurlings and Tixier third, the same podium as it was in Spain 2 weekends ago. Jeffrey Hurlings, though, extends his lead at the top of the World Championship standings in MX2. But what a day for Valentin Guillod and Standing Constructs Yamaha. So we are now here with Valentin Guillod, and Valentin, congratulations on your second Grand Prix victory, but what a crazy couple of Grand Prix it's been for you.
Hi, thanks. Yeah, it was two sick GPs. It was really awesome for me and everyone who are next to me.
What about Matterley Basin, though? Because from a spectator's point of view, from myself, from Adam and everybody there, it looked like it was the best racing throughout the season in all classes, not just in MX2. Why do you think that was? Do you think it has something to do with the layout of the circuit down there at Matterley Basin?
I don't know. You know, it was also for me, it was a great race, you know. I don't know why it was a great racing like this. Track is really cool, really nice. And I think everyone are enjoying on that track, and it's why people are racing like this.
We just saw some highlights from race 2. We'll get more of those in a moment. But this was race 1. What a fantastic race! Everything happened pretty much in the final 2 laps, didn't it?
Yeah. Here I make the clear pass, and here we can see Max is front of his fan, and I think it's why he cut a bit like this and pass me like this. And here Jeffrey take the opportunity to pass us. Yeah, it's racing. I'm not angry next to Max for sure. On the moment, I say, yeah, come on. With that, you lose the second place, maybe, but okay, racing.
What about the atmosphere during that race? Because as you just mentioned, Max was riding there in front of his home fans. Could you hear the support that he was getting as well? And did it, make the occasion a little bit more special?
Yeah, for sure. You know, all around the track we can hear the public screaming, and it was awesome. But all that scream were for him, not for me. But yeah, it was really cool to fight with Max.
It was a tense race. I mean, we were saying it was the best one we've seen this year. For you riding it, did it feel tense? Did you think, especially in the second moto with Herlings, did you think, oh, he's behind me, or did you kind of just, I don't know, how was it to ride in that?
When I took the lead directly in second moto, I say, okay, I will try to do my best and to go till the end. But I made a mistake just after the pit lane, and Jeffrey were next to me, and I know in the first part of the track I was really good, and I pass him directly, I respond directly, and then he was next to me, and I say, okay, now I go till I can, and we will see what's happened, and I know he gonna push till the last lap, and I try to don't make mistake, and it's what happened,
I mean, I can imagine the same for you as well, Paul. When you win a race, if you win by 20 seconds, it feels pretty special. But then also, if you win something like that, where it's been such a good show for everybody involved, for TV, for people at the circuit, I mean, the level of satisfaction the days afterwards must feel pretty big,
Yeah, it was. I think racing like this, it's awesome for me. It was awesome, and for my team and for my fans and the public. I think it was really awesome. And for sure, the next day when you woke up, you feel nothing. You're just really happy. You don't have pain, nothing. So, but after it's a bit difficult to go back training because you were so good there and feeling so good. You have to go a bit on you. Pushing, and but after it's coming back.
Jeffrey said in the press conference after the GP that he wasn't used, when he made the pass for the lead in the second race, he's not used to being somebody overtaking him straight back, which is what you did. And then, of course, for the whole race, you had to withstand the pressure from him, which not many riders do. What did he say to you after the race there? Was it just a quick pat on the back? Did he say congratulations, or how was that conversation? Because I know in the press conference he he alluded to the fact that suddenly you're here, but a couple of years ago it was a little bit different, wasn't it?
Yeah, for sure. When I start riding GP, he was more stronger than me, but I practice and train hard to try to come back on him, and we are good, we have respect each other, and when I cross the finish line, we stop. He stopped to me. We congratulate each other, and it was. I think it's the respect of the sport that we can also show to people that we are fighter, racer on the track, but we are also people who have respect.
I mean, I know it's your second year with a standing construct team. You were riding with another manufacturer last year. Now it's with Yamaha, and you said, in public, it took some time to get the bike where you wanted it. But for me, Paul, I mean, the last two Grand Prix, there's been no other rider that's been attacking the track as much as you. I mean, that's a sign that you must have everything ready with the bike. Everything's right.
Yeah, for sure. We know it when we sign with Yamaha. It will take a bit time, and we receive everything late, We rode with the standard bike all winter, and it was really fast and riding good. But for the GP, we need better parts, faster parts, and I didn't find the good, the same feeling as the practice bike with, so the standard bike with better parts, and it's why we took a bit time to arrive at that level, and but all the work we did this winter, it showed that we work good, and now we can see the result. But and we can see that I'm feeling really good on that bike, on the standing construct Yamaha.
Before Matterley, we were in Talavera in Spain, which is where you took your first race win in race 2, and of course you won the GP as well. What do you remember about that whole weekend as well?
It was a funny story, when I crossed the finish line in second moto. I go to my mechanics, and everyone jump in the arm of each other, and they said, "Yeah, you did it." Yeah, I know I did it. I was first on the finish line, and after I just go like this to the podium, and actually when Lisa make the interview, tell me that I want a GP. That was awesome because I I didn't was thinking about that. I was thinking, yeah, okay, it's nice. I make my first podium, first victory. It's cool, but yeah.
And that was a nice pass on Dylan there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really cool. I did 3-4 laps before, but I was a bit too late, and I didn't pass. And I try again 2 laps before, and it's happened.
What does it feel like when you approach the team now at this point?
Yeah, now he said, yeah, you did it. Yeah, I know, I did it. I passed first the finish line. Yeah, that's awesome. You can see the team, how much they are next to me, and how much, pressure we not really pressure, but how much investment we have to arrive that result.
We're trying to work out during after last week, actually, we're winning the British Grand Prix. Has there ever been a Swiss rider in Grand Prix that's won back-to-back races? Not for a good few years, I don't think. I mean, that's a pretty big deal for you. And
who won a GP?
Yeah, but 2 back-to-back in a row.
Oh, I think I'm the first.
Yeah?
Yeah. Arnaud won a GP last year.
On a tonus,
Brazil, but...
nobody back-to-back.
No. I think I'm the first, yeah. Well, and also, I read one interview, I'm the first guy who make back-to-back win GP from Erling's time, you know?
Yes. Yeah. Which is also a nice, impressive record. We're almost out of time with you there, Valentin. Which GP win felt the best? Winning in Spain or winning in Matterley?
Matterley. Yeah, Matterley, because the riding was, I think, better riding for Jeffrey, and so for me, actually, was almost not impossible. It was almost perfect, you know.
Mm. And home GP almost for you this weekend. You live, 80 kilometers from here, just over the border?
Yeah, exactly. My hometown, it's 80, 100 kilometers from here. So a lot of people will come, and I hope we will see the Swiss flag next to the track.
All right. Well, look, we wish you, Valentin, all the best this weekend, and of course, standing construct Yamaha as well. Right. Our next guest, Antonio Cairoli, is waiting just outside to come and join us. So before we welcome him in, let's see what happened at Matterley Basin a week ago in the MXGP class.
Tony Cairoli rocketed out of the start on his Red Bull KTM, but it was Max Nagel who got to the turn first. But it was Sean Simpson, 24, who crossed the Foxhole shot line, clear of everybody else. Cairoli was pushed back to 5th, as Febvre went through into 4th behind DeSalle. And then at the end of the lap, Cairoli fell. He lost the front end and remounted in 7th place. Nagel was all over the back of Simpson, challenging, but so too was DeSalle. Febvre also in the mix. A real dogfight between the first 4 riders in the early stages of the race. Febvre tried to keep at bay the German Max Nagel, as DeSalle tried to close in and make a move on Simpson as Todd Waters fell. Bobryshev made his move on Nagel. That got him up into 4th. He went after the Frenchman Romain Febvre as DeSalle made his move at the front on Simpson. Cairoli was also closing in on Max Nagel in what was an epic battle in MXGP. Simpson got passed by Romain Febvre and then by Evgeny Bobryshev. Bobryshev moving up into 3rd, but then he got caught by the Italian Tony Cairoli. It wasn't long before Cairoli found his way through into 3rd place, pushing the Russian back down into 4th. With this move here at the bottom of the hill. Romain Febvre, though, was clear around about the halfway point, and he went on to take his first race win in MXGP. DeSalle was 2nd, Tony Cairoli was 3rd, and with it collected the British Grand Prix victory. DeSalle was 2nd, Febvre 3rd. Nagel could only salvage 5th this weekend, but he does still lead the championship by 4 points. Cairoli closes in as well. And with this victory here at Matterley Basin, Tony Cairoli becomes the most successful winner of a British Grand Prix. Max Nagel continues to lead MXGP.
Tony joins us now, and Tony, win number 74 last week in Matterley Basin, but I guess for you, more importantly, your 2nd Grand Prix victory of the season.
Yeah, exactly. It was important for me to go back on the GP win, but we had some issues in the beginning, some crashes, and we were just not ready to fight for the lead, for the victory in the GP. Some GPs, but I was sure that was coming. So now we actually change bike, and we are really happy that we reached 2 times the first step of the podium.
Because you haven't been winning races and winning GPs, we almost kind of think you've had a slow start to the year, but you've actually been very consistent, haven't you? I think just 3 motos outside of the top 10. So in that respect, it's not been too bad. Just that one DNF in Valkenswaard.
Yeah, exactly. Without that DNF, maybe I should have the red plate already, and that's good for the championship. I mean, this is important. Sometimes you can lost a lot of points in just one hit, and it happened with me with the DNF in Valkenswaard, and yeah, now I'm just 20 points in the back of the first 2 guys. But maybe without that crash, I could had red plate already. But it's not important for the moment. It's important to have it on the end of the season.
Will you be a point clear now, Adam?
Well, we said, Paul, didn't we, in the commentary for the race here, Tony, that, it was almost similar to Sweden, a few years ago, with that freaky double DNF that you had. We said that time then, I think you won the next 12 motos in a row, or like 13 from 14, the rest of the season, you were unbeatable. So we were saying then in the commentary, are we going to see like a Tony Cairoli firing back very strong? And it was almost like that, 2 Grand Prix where you've taken the overall victory. It's kind of like, right, okay, I've had a DNF, I've lost points, but now I'm gonna fight back.
Yeah, sure. It's always important to have a good start, especially this season. The level is very high, and the tracks, some of them are pretty difficult to pass, pretty small and tiny. Except last week in Matali was very nice. The track you had a lot of choice for pass, but the start is the key lately. So it's important to have a good start.
Well, obviously in Spain, it was when you wheeled out the 450 for the first time ever. Well, since riding the KTM anyway. Obviously, you won a title in 2009 for Yamaha on 450s. But because you've been at KTM for so long and you've been running the 350, it was a big shock to everybody, I guess, that you suddenly arrived with a 450. Now, in all the interviews you did, you said you'd been testing the bike before and for a long time, and that because of the injury at the Motocross of Nations, you delayed the decision to ride the 450. But other people may be looking at it saying, you're more than 30 points down in the championship and you need something to get back on terms with, with Max or with Clement, to maybe get the championship back going again. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think I'm just realistic. I think the time with the 350 was finished with me and the bike. I had not really much motivation. We improved a lot, but we didn't really had much to work on it. And I already see that the 450 has still a lot to give to me, and I still have a lot to learn from the bike. And it's always important for having new motivation. I think we can still have a big improvement during the season.
Well, Tony, did you have to change your riding style much on that bike? Because on the 350, for me, you always had such real nice corner speed. You were riding like a different gear. I mean, the bike was almost kind of quieter than all the others because you were using the bike and the speed so efficiently around the tracks. But now it's kind of, I don't know, a different game, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's right, your observation, because I think it's I was riding with the only one with the 350 except another guy, just another rider. And when you ride that together with the 450, they have different lines. And for me to keep the 350 together with them, I had to use a different, trying to do different lines because the bike bring you to a different speed in the corner. So was very tough for me to keep going this way. And now with the 450, I just follow the same line as everybody else, and it seems more easy, and it's paying because you can also make a easier pass. Just you can just be faster as them in some places without risking nothing with 350. Just to take a new line, hoping that was nothing in the ruts or something, and then you had the speed for past them. But otherwise, it was difficult.
In terms of winning that GP in Spain, how much of a relief was that for you? Because in the beginning of the year, when you didn't win the first one or the second one, and then the third one, and in the press conferences afterwards, it's, the win is just around the corner, and suddenly round 6 it arrived. That's 8 GPs without a victory. Was that a big relief for you to get that win there and then, especially on the 450?
No, I have to be honest. The relief didn't come yet. I feel that I'm riding not so my best this year. I know inside that I can be much better, and I will be relieved when I have a good race. I will tell you, because for the moment it's like, sometimes one race is good but still not what I want, and then the other race some small mistakes, and then it's not really what I'm expecting.
Tony, the build up before the season was the Cairoli Valentin duel. I mean, we've missed Ryan from quite a few races now. What's kind of like your view on him being away? I mean, when you saw him racing the first 4 rounds of the season, did you kind of see enough to think, I'm battling one of the all-time greats here at GP, or did you think you expected more, or what was your observation?
My observation is that he's one of the best rider of all time, I think, motocross, and it was for us also was good to have him racing, because for sure it brings much more interest to our series, and it's a shame that he's out. I hope he can come back, to race soon, because it brings for sure more attention, and I think it's normal. It's have a little bit different tracks. Maybe some of them are quite similar, and I expect him to do a little bit better, to what he's used to ride. And if you think that he just get injured after 4 or 5 races, it's it's a shame, because he was still on the fight for the championship. So for him was a big shame, and also for the series.
In terms of the championship now, who do you think has the most pressure to deal with? Is it Max and Clement? Max because he's leading the championship now only by 4 points. Clement because he's still yet to win a GP. Or do you think now the pressure is on you because you're on the 450, you've won the 2 races? Or do you think you have the most to gain because of what's been happening in the last two rounds?
Yeah, I think everybody's expecting more. For me, I think I have the most pressure, because everybody's is pointing on me, is working on what I did the last years, and they see me like an enemy. It's normal, when you win. So I think I should do the same, So I have a lot of pressure, but I can handle the pressure pretty good. So I think it's for them that they are fighting at the moment for the lead. It's not easy, but I see that they are handle it all pretty good also.
Because we've been saying 7 rounds without a Tony Cairoli red plate. That's not a usual thing for us. In the media we like to say, "Hey, Tony, come on, you need a win.
Yeah,
you need a win. You need to take the lead again," because it's not been happening.
Yeah, especially in Italy also. Everybody's is posting me every day, photoshopped photo with the red plate on my bike. But it's quite big pressure. But I think it's normal when you use the people to have to win always. When you don't win, it's also news. So, but it's still long season. We'll try to get there.
Okay, before we go, thoughts on this track at Villars?
It's not really one of my favorite track from the first practice. It's a quite small track. Like you see this kind of lap times normally on a local race, but and quite tiny. But I think it get a little bit bumpy, or if it rain a little bit, it will become a little bit more technical. And but anyway, the start is very important, because there is no possibility for pass.
All right, Tony Cairoli, thanks for joining us here this weekend. Wish you all the best for this weekend and, of course, the rest of the season. Tony Cairoli, everybody. Right, next up, let's tell you about our competition we've got running this weekend. Well, this week's competition comes courtesy of Alpine Stars, and it's a pretty good one too, so pay attention. For a chance to win a pair of limited edition Alpine Star Tech 10 boots, all you have to do is answer the following question. How many components go into the construction of the Tech 10 boot? Is it is it your first choice? Is it 2 components? Is it 10 components? Or is it 273 components that go into the construction of the Tech 10 boot? You will also win MXGP, the official video game, and a season's pass to MXGP.tv.com. Submit your answer on our MXGP Facebook page, or for more information, of course, go to our website, MXGP.com. Don't forget to like or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Also, MXGP TV is offering our 30% discount on our season pass, which also includes the FIM Monster Energy Motocross of Nations. So don't forget to enter that, and you can get a chance to win a pair of MXGP, the Alpine Star Tech 10 limited edition boots. Right, our final guest is here, Steve Dixon, team manager from Monster Energy DRT Kawasaki. Before we talk about the team and the season, Matchley Basin was 1 week ago. From an outsider's view, it looks like it's getting bigger and better every year. How was it from your perspective in terms of being the promoter of that event?
You know, it was fantastic. It all went, pretty smoothly. Obviously, we were blessed with the weather, but the organisation, the people helping out was, was solid, and it was good to show that, we can do a good job, while we're improving every year.
And there's talk of potentially going back there for Motocross of Nations in the next few years. Is that right, or is that just a pipe dream at the moment?
I know. I mean, I think we're prepared for that nowadays. I mean, we've learnt a lot over the years, and it'd be fantastic. Everyone kept asking me when it's coming back to the Matchley Basin, and I think 18 or 19 would be ready. All
right, we'll talk about your season now, though. We'll talk about Mel Pocock first. Obviously, back on your team after winning a European Championship with you a couple of years ago. Did the first 2 rounds, Qatar, Thailand, but we've not seen him since then, obviously injured. How is he? What's the state of the injury? When will we expect to see him back on a bike?
Yeah, I mean, Mel's injury was, terrible. I mean, hopefully he can ride again. I mean, he's really positive. He had another operation on Tuesday straight after Matchley to remove some more pins and try and get some movement in his last knuckles. We won't know until he's until he's actually ridden a bike, whether he can actually ride again. But he's really positive. He travelled on Wednesday out to see Zach. He's staying in Colorado now with Zach and Tomac. So I mean, he's taken it sort of heads up and taken on the injury, and he's not ashamed of how his thumb looks or his hand. He's really positive, and it's good to see.
He had a great start to the year, though, didn't he? Here in Qatar, we'll see some action with him in Thailand as well. 6th overall here in the heat. Which surprised a lot of people, including myself, I think.
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning of the season, end of last season, we sort of looked at both Max and Mel and their weaknesses and where we could improve. And we just spent a lot of time in Spain and, training. We worked with the university on, their fitness and stuff like that. So we knew they were both fit, and, we did a lot of preparation with Max and Mel together, and I think that worked really well. Going into Thailand, I mean, Mel was sort of positive. He didn't let it get him that he was going to sort of fade in the heat. So it wasn't a surprise to us. He didn't do a lot in the practices. He took it steady and then, put it all for the race. And, even so in the race, he sort of took it easy, sort of down the pit lanes, almost I thought he was going to stop each lap, but he was just resting. So it was a case of just pacing himself. I think he's sort of matured a lot.
That was his best Grand Prix finish, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And for it to happen in temperatures of like plus 35 was pretty incredible.
Yeah, I mean, again, it was just about sort of pacing himself. We had the ice bath there, and he knew what to expect. And as I say, I think he didn't try to explode from the beginning of the race. He just knew he had to finish the race, and as I say, he took. He didn't do like all the jumps that other people were doing. He just kept himself safe and knew it was to the finish that was going to get him good points.
I mean, just before we talk about Max, Paul, I mean, one of the things for me, Steve, is that Mel, when he made a comment when he left your team, he said it was very hard to move from perhaps the fastest 250 that's ever been built to change bike to go to something else. And then he came back, and then you changed manufacturer last year after having created, one of the fastest sort of carbureted bikes we've seen in Grand Prix. Last year was tough, with the technology, with the development you're trying to do. Now you've changed again. I mean, it's been two and a half really busy years, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, as everyone knows, I'm not afraid of hard work. And, I mean, last year was unfortunate because we were getting good results on the carbureted bike. And, yeah, we just got the 14 bike late, and we had to. We didn't plan to use it at the beginning. We knew it was quite a way off our 13 bike, and fortunately for us, we were getting good results on it at the first 3 rounds, and then we were told by Yamaha that we had to change to the 14 before we were ready to be where we were at with the 13. So then we were testing at GPs, which was not ideal. So the change, for me, a bike is a bike, engine is an engine, and to change to Kawasaki or any other manufacturer doesn't matter to me.
So changing bikes from Yamaha to Kawasaki, it was important to get off to a good start. Qatar, Max was okay in the first race, had a crash in the second race. So in that respect, not the start you were looking for with your lead rider. No.
I mean, that was difficult. But again, injuries part of part of this sport. I've been in it sort of 25 years. So as you know, Paul, going to Indonesia as favourite, and you were fast on track and couldn't ride. We both cried. It's the highs and lows of the sport. And, I accept everything that comes with it. So,
but that could have been so much worse for Max, though, couldn't it?
He was lucky.
Yeah.
When you see it,
I mean,
he was lucky.
Yeah, he was very lucky. I mean, some small crashes create big injuries, and some big injuries. Remember the years of like Greg Albertine crashing in Japan and stuff like that. When you get a small crash, like Villapotas wasn't a huge crash, and look at the sort of time he's out now. So I mean, we just got to take it as we each year and each race that we get with injuries.
But he's bounced back pretty good though since then, hasn't he? He sat out in Thailand, came back in Argentina, got a top 3 finish in the first race. The same again in Holland, and obviously Matterley Basin. We can talk about that in a moment. But
Max is I think a more solid rider this year. I mean, we just he hasn't sort of quite strung 2 races together yet. Through no fault of his own, just seems to be this year. I mean, the idea originally of qualifying was that each rider would race, like line up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the starts have changed a bit, and people are, in the second race they're changing position. There's a lot of last-minute changes of, of start position, which is sort of messing people up. Even at Arco and every Grand Prix now, that the top runners have sort of swapped around for the second race, so you don't really know where you're going actually.
Does Max have one more year in MX2, Steve, or is this his last one?
So he turned 22 in April, so he has another year in MX2.
They are looking at Matterley, great Grand Prix as we just discussed a moment ago. But in terms of how he performed in that first race, led it for so long. What are your thoughts now post Grand Prix analysis? What discussions have you had? Because obviously, I guess in the heat of the moment, you can have a conversation, but then actually think about it, look back and review the situation. Where do you think he went wrong in that first race? Where did you think that win got away?
I mean, leading your home Grand Prix with the whole shot, I mean, his heart rate was like 30 beats higher than it normally is, because he wears a heart monitor and takes all the heart readings. And I think he was just too tensed up. We can't take it away from Guillod and Herlings. They were moving, and the step that Max has made into hard pack, and sort of Matterley was a little harder than normal. He's jumped up a big step this year, but I think he's he actually said that leading that race for all that time, and the adrenaline and the crowd was actually better than his win in Lommel. He said the win in Lommel didn't feel anything like leading those laps at Matterley in front of his home crowd. As I say, Guillod and Herlings are fantastic, in those conditions, and it's good to be up there battling with them. It was a big shame, but again, it's points on the table, and we've just got to carry on building. There's 22 more heats left of this year, and we've got to make the best of those heats.
Sorry, Paul. Steve, you had Darian Sanaye, I hope I said that correctly, riding for you in the European Championship in Matterley Basin. Obviously, you've got one spare bike with Mel being out in the awning. Are you actively looking for a second Grand Prix rider, or is it something that's a little bit on the back burner, or there's not been time to look at it properly?
I don't think we need to jump in and just get another rider just to fill a spot. I mean, Kawasaki and Monster have sort of, both said there's no pressure. I mean, our budget extends to running a good, one good rider really at the moment. So, I mean, Mel was a fantastic second rider who was going to, pull it out of the bag for us. So the thing with Darren was that was between Monster and Kawasaki, and they, we all decided to bring him over. And originally we were going to put him in MX2, but we couldn't because it meant he would then have to get a pro license. He wouldn't be able to do Loretta Lynn's, which would mess him up in America. Unfortunately, in the second race, had drizzle and he'd never used roll-offs, and Thomas Covington sort of spoke to him and said, you need roll-offs. So he ran back and got some roll-offs for him, and they sort of broke on the first lap. So it was,
welcome to Europe.
Yeah. So it was unfortunate, but anyway, I was really impressed with Darren because, I mean, you could just see from the lines he was taking, especially after the quad and around, those few corners. He looked very, very composed and also mature in the way he rode. I was impressed.
No, he did. I think he caught the eye of a lot of people over here. Very similar to what Covington did when he first came over. And ironically, they had the same overall finish, 4th overall.
18 years old.
A lot of similarities.
Yeah, I mean, he's kept in touch. He wanted to ride our bike for Loretta's, and he enjoyed the week he stayed with us. We were surprised when he came over that he just gelled with the bike straight away, even rode with Öhlins instead of his normal sort of shower A-kit suspension. So he just fitted in fine. He was a nice kid.
All right, well, we are almost out of time, Adam. One more question.
Can he be back or not?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking. I mean, obviously it depends on, Loretta Lynn's and his schedule. But, obviously, as you know, we have a bike there available. It'd be nice to sort of see him there or maybe even at the USGP.
And next step for Max and Steve, 2 solid rides, getting on a podium?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's 4th man at the moment every time. But, it's so close to come together. He's one of the few that can run up, at the front. I mean, he pushed Jeffrey at the beginning in Spain all the way, and Matterley sort of led. So, yeah, as you know, I mean, with the rider, it's all coming together. And once it comes together, like with Guillod, then it just seems to sort of roller coaster from there.
All right, well, Steve Dixon, thanks for joining us here today, and wish you and your team all the best for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's it for our studio show here in France. We hope you can join us with all the action live tomorrow, where, well, Tony and Valentin will look in to make it 3 in a row. Clément de Sale will be looking for his first win. Max Nagel will be looking to extend his championship lead. And what about Gauthier Paulin, the home favourite here this weekend, or even Romain Febvre standing on the top step of the podium in MXGP? Either way, it's going to be a cracker. We hope you can join us tomorrow for all the action live. We'll see you then. Bye for now. Thank you, guys.